Hey everybody, it's Connor MacIvor. Today's the 17th of July. This is your daily Santa Clarita real estate update. Few happenings on the local market, but let me give you the numbers today. 463 total active listings currently on the market throughout all of Santa Clarita Valley cities. We have seen that as an increase over the past several weeks. Slow increase, nothing too quickly. That's why to determine whether or not this is going to be a change in the real estate market is a little bit far from happening, at least the way that the listings are still being sold as they're being put onto the market. We have a little bit more than usual, but those numbers are up 30 or 40 units. It's not a massive amount, enough to change a lot of things, at least now. 11 coming soon, 88 new listings in the past 7 days, 59 properties have had their prices changed. We also have 18 back on the market, 33 active under contract, 47 pending, 50 closed, 4 expired, 10 canceled, 14 have been put on hold, and 4 have been withdrawn. Let's break it down by property type. Of course, we have residential income lease. We do have different types of properties as well. Commercial also, but right now, today's show, as we typically do, is focused on residential only, single family residences, condominiums, and townhomes throughout Santa Clarita Valley. Differentiation points between a townhome and a condominium. Typically, condominiums are, you can imagine them as maybe apartment style rectangular boxes. Usually all of the living spaces, food preparation, location, storage, and all that on the same level. And usually you're going to be sharing walls either behind, maybe ceilings and floors with other units or other property owners or other people that are renting or leasing. That's a condominium. Usually the parking situations there are not assigned, and it's going to depend on location as to whether or not they're going to have maybe covered parking carports or potential garages. Coming to mind in Santa Clarita, I can think of all of those scenarios being the case, whether it's in the resale market or also the rental or lease market. If we look at townhomes, those typically are going to be multiple story, at least with some entry point maybe on the floor of a ground floor or maybe up a few stairs. In addition, usually there is some kind of a garage with a townhome. It might not have direct access, meaning from inside the residence to the garage. I can think of some property types out here that have that situation. Or it could be you have to go through a small private yard to get to the garage. I can think of those in Santa Clarita. In addition, there are also some that have a different location for the garage itself. You might have to walk, a couple hundred yards to get there, whatever it is. And some then are, of course, direct access, where you come down to a lower level, you get garage access. And then townhomes, because they're multiple story, usually you're not sharing much with anybody, but it could be that you have maybe a wall in common or something else. And another property type I'd like to talk about today happens to be attached single family residences. Now, if you look at a single family residence, typically that's imagined as something that standalone on its own lot, not really interfering or touching with anybody else, and really your sole and separate property apart from the neighbors. Now, for single family residences, you're going to have bordering properties on most sides, potentially not in front unless you have some kind of a fancy property with some sort of an easement. But besides that, typically, if you remember, basically in the front of the house, that's where you walk out, you have the street and so on. But you do have sides and back with a single family residence. But all the sides of the yards, usually you're not going to have somebody needing to get access to your yard to do something to your neighbor's home. We have in Santa Clarita detached condominiums. Sometimes they have these lots that have one of your neighbor's house walls in your yard. So there isn't some fence separating it. It's literally, you walk out into your backyard and you have your neighbor's home, one of the walls here. So that being the case, that could be considered, and maybe it was recorded by the builder, as a detached condominium. I know. Now we threw the definition completely out with the baby with the bathwater scenario, right? It's all gone. But really, yeah. So these are ways that the builders are able to basically classify properties. And I would bet you dollars to donuts to get 100 houses designated as detached condominiums probably cost the builder less money than to get them classified as single family residences. While at the end of the day, the appraiser is going to give both those properties probably more weight towards single family residences than a condominium. It's just something to know as you get into the market. Now, there's also attached single family residences where you're going to be sharing maybe a garage wall or even a residence wall with a neighbor. In those cases, excuse me, frog, it's important to know what the insurance profile looks like for those. Because let's say in some point in the past, and this could affect your insurance rate as a home buyer or then homeowner, what'll happen is if there was some kind of an insurance claim, maybe because a flooding issue or something of the neighboring home, but then it affected the property that you're going to buy, that could change your insurance rate. And then we have, of course, possibilities of those things happening in the future. Just things to know and understand before you jump in full force into the real estate market. Now, as far as what's happening out here in Santa Clarita Valley, besides those property descriptions, we have seen inventory continue to move about the same pace as it has been. Interest rates haven't relaxed much at all. In fact, we don't think the powers that be, everything I read all day long about real estate, they don't believe that we're going to have any future break, at least this year, in interest rates. And if there is going to be a break, it's going to be very small. Here's something not to fall into. Don't fall into the trap of lenders teasing you into giving up your personal and private financial information before you're ready. They're going to need your stuff eventually if you're going to actually work with those lenders and become pre-approved for a home loan, but no need to jump in too quickly, at least until you find somebody you like, because once you give them all your numbers, they're running your credit, and that's fine too. It's not that hard to say, listen, Jack, don't want to work with you anymore. I'd rather work with this person. That works, but let's try to make a good decision out of the chute if we can. That's what I try to help my clients do. I'm Connor with Honor. Thank you for watching the 17th of July. This is our update 2024. When you're ready, make sure you go to www.santaclaritaopenhouses.com. I'd love to help you with your real estate needs. Thank you so much for watching. You be well. Santa Clarita